Okay, hi people. This lesson is on solving Trigo equation. Do take note that solving Trigo equation or in your elementary maths, E-math, when we solve equation, we also need to be mindful the equation that we are solving is linear or quadratic. Then from there, that's our fundamental. Then from there, we further apply our Trigo knowledge to apply Trigo equation. So this part, okay, all these steps here is all about the steps involved in solving Trigo equation. So the basic ability how to solve linear equation and quadratic equation from your E-math is required. So this one I'll bring in a while. Then I request all of you to watch this, scan this QR code and watch. Okay, then we dive in and I'll show everyone how to apply this step 1, step 2. So first thing, the first example to go through is this cotangent square x equals to 1/4. To take note is that this cotangent square x, okay, the cotangent is the base, okay. So you can imagine this question to be like x squared equals to 1/4. And we imagine we are solving for x. So over here, okay, the only difference is now the base is being changed into a Trigo identity. So you need to be mindful. So with this and the additional things that we have here is this range. This range is important. Why? Because when we solve Trigo equation, if the question didn't give us any range to stop, there is infinite answers. So this range is required. And do take note for this range, the range of the angle x must be the same as the angle that hyperbola is rotated over here. So if they are different, then we need to be mindful. So over here, let's go through the solving process. So I have cotangent square x equals to 1/4. So imagine we have this x squared is 1/4. First thing is x squared. So we have to square root both sides to find our x or to find the base. So, but before that, because it's cotangent, okay, we only can solve sine, cosine, tangent in a calculator. So what happened? I changed the cotangent to tangent first. So this will be 1 over tangent square x equals to 1/4. Then I square root both sides. So I make tangent x the subject. So this one equals to 4. Then I square both sides. To take note is tangent square x equals to 4. So when I square both sides, I have two value, plus minus 2. Be very careful, there are two value. Why there are two value? Because it's square. It's like quadratic, we have two answers. Then from here, because tangent x, then now this tangent x, I say again, this x is angle hypo has rotated. This is very important. I've been saying that many times. So with this, okay, and this plus minus, which means that all four quadrant or right angle triangle will be in. So for the first time, I will try to draw and show you. So which means that they are in all four quadrant. So then the next thing is that we have to find the basic angle first. Like for example here, step 2. Take note, basic angle is always a cube and it's always in the first quadrant if you're talking about that. So we find basic angle. And take note, basic angle when we want to find, we do not include all the sign here. All the sign here is just telling us where is the hypo in whichever quadrant. So with this, our basic angle alpha. Take note, is alpha, it's not x. Or in Trigo equations, your student always confuse the x with the alpha. They are two different things. We are solving for x, we are not solving for alpha. So for this, tangent inverse 2, okay, I won't key in calculator, I'll just leave it in this manner. Then my x, okay, because the x is in 4 quadrant, so slowly I will show you how come or how do we derive this 4 answers. So first quadrant is alpha. Why? Because first quadrant, the hypo is in this triangle. First quadrant, this is the angle x, and happen that in the first quadrant, x is also equals to alpha, which is, if I zoom in bigger, here is alpha. Okay, basic angle is always the angle that the hypo forms with the horizontal line. Then my second quadrant will be 180 minus alpha. Why? Okay, the right angle triangle is in the second quadrant now. Here is x, this is the angle you need to find, and the angle that hypo forms with the horizontal line is alpha, and here is 180. So that's why x is 180 minus alpha. Then third quadrant, 180 plus alpha. Why? Because this hypotenuse is in the third quadrant. This is the angle we need to find, and here is the alpha. So that's why it's 180 plus alpha. Okay. Moving to the last one is 360 minus alpha. Why? Because over here our hypotenuse is in the fourth quadrant. This is my x. Here is my alpha, basic angle. So 360 minus alpha. Why? Because it is 360. So with all this, the answer here will be 63.4. When answer is not exact for angle, is 1 dp. 116.6, 243.4, and 296.6. Okay. All these, the 4 right angle triangle that I've sketched, is not required in the working for your solving, because now I'm explaining to everyone how do we get this 4 answer. So please be very mindful. Okay, that is how we should be thinking. It's not as simple as solving normal equation in elementary math. So looking at the next one, okay, solve cosine 2 theta equals to negative 0.5. Okay, take note, you have to be mindful, because now so far angle we know 2 things. One is degree mode, one is radian mode. How do we know we should be using what mode? Okay, looking at the questions, the range given, we will know what mode. This theta is from 2 pi 0 to pi, so which means that this is a clear indication we have to use radian mode of our calculator. But there's one thing that we can try to I would say try to do some reverse engineering, is that if our basic angle, which later we are finding, the basic angle is 30, 45 or 60, we don't change the mode of calculator. Later I'll show you why. Okay, so for example this, the next thing we need to be careful with is that you can see the angle that hypo is rotated in this question is 2 theta. Okay, angle hypo rotated, and this angle must always be the same as the range. The range given in the question, or all questions, always theta. So you can see now they are different. So these two, they are different. Okay, different. So which means that we need to change the range of the question to fit our question, and not change the range of, and not change the angle that hypo is rotated in the question to fit the range. This is something you need to be mindful of, because range is more important. We need the range to guide us to know how many angles to give. So for example this, cosine 2 theta equals to negative 0.5, and because of this negative sign, okay, we need to determine using our ASTC to determine whether the hypo or where the hypo is in which quadrant. So ASTC, so for cosine to be negative, it will be in the second and third quadrant. Second and third quadrant. So which means that if you're still not comfortable, later on you can, when it's a step to solve, you can try to go and sketch the hypo in the second and the third quadrant. So with this, now the next step, because it's already cosine, we can proceed to find the basic angle. Take note, this basic angle that we are going to find is the basic angle for 2 theta. Some of you may think that, oh, if that's the case, why must we find the basic angle of 2 theta? Why can't we find the basic angle, then after divide by 2, then we have the basic angle for theta? It don't work this way. Basic angle, there is only one basic angle. We cannot say that because it's 2 theta, cosine 2 theta, so I will find the basic angle and divide by 2. That will be the basic angle for theta. It don't work in this way. Because why? Basic angle, if you recall, okay, for this case, basic angle alpha equals to cosine inverse 0.5. Because we are using this 0.5 and we inverse cosine, that will be the basic angle for 2 theta. Okay. So, and take note, the negative sign won't be used in finding the basic angle. The sign is just to inform us the hypo is in which quadrant. If anytime you forget about that and you just go and cosine inverse negative 0.5, you realize that your basic angle, for example this question, will be obtuse. If it's obtuse, and it defeat the purpose about this this cube. Why? Because okay, basic angle is the angle that hypo always form with the horizontal line. So either here, this angle is acute, or even in any other quadrant, they are always acute. So we have to be very mindful. It won't be obtuse. Okay. So with this, I find basic angle of 2 theta. So with this, if we key in calculator, okay, it is 60 degree. So happen that this triangle 30, 45, 60 is our special angle. So this is 60. So 60 is our 180 divided by 3, pi over 3. So very lucky, we don't need to change the mode of our calculator. So then now here, because the range given in the question is from 0 to 2 pi for theta, but we are asked to solve for 2 theta, we have to change the range by multiplying by 2 throughout. So this is the new range that we need to work with. Okay, hope that everyone is still clear. I suggest if it's not clear, you may want to rewind this video and watch again and listen to my explanation. Okay, so with that, we will know that it's in the first, second, and the third quadrant. So I'll have my 2 theta. Take note, 2 theta. So second quadrant is pi minus alpha. Why? Let me draw a triangle for everyone. So now it's in the second quadrant. This is our 2 theta. Here is my alpha. Then here is my pi. So that's why the angle 2 theta is pi minus alpha. Then in the second quadrant, so in the third quadrant, sorry, it is pi plus alpha. Why? Because in the third quadrant, this is the 2 theta. And here is my pi. So this is my alpha. So that's why it's pi plus alpha. Okay. So until here is only first round. So because it is 4 pi, which means that 2 rounds, the hypo will rotate 2 rounds. So with this, we have to go to the second round, second and the third quadrant, but not to worry or too stressful with, because since we have the first round, the second round we just need to add one more round. One more round is how many radian? 2 pi radian. So based on this second quadrant, I go one more round. One more is 2 pi, so it will be 2 pi plus pi minus alpha. So it's 3 pi minus alpha. Then our third quadrant, pi plus alpha plus another 2 pi. So it's 3 pi plus alpha. So even if I draw the right angle triangle where the hypo is in, it will still be the same. What I meant by that, I have this. Okay, so now it rotate. Sorry, second quadrant, my bad. Okay, second quadrant. So it'll be here. But this is the second round, second quadrant. So what happens is that you rotate here one round. First round done. Go to second round. So this is my 2 theta. And here is my, this is my 0/2 pi. Okay, and this is same thing, my alpha. So because it goes to, then here will be my pi /3 pi. Okay, so you can see over here, okay, it will be 3 pi minus alpha. So with all this, okay, we use calculate. Here you can see is pi minus pi over 3. Okay, this step, the next step you can don't show. I'm just showing you how I derive this. This is the same. I factorize out the pi, 1 minus 1/3. So this is the answer, which is 2/3 pi. Then we do the same concept for the rest. Pi plus pi over 3. Okay, pi bracket 1 plus 1/3. Then we have 4/3 pi. And next one, 3 pi minus pi over 3. I have pi 3 minus 1/3. So here will be 8/3 pi. Doing the same, 3 pi plus pi over 3. Okay, then I have 10/3 pi. Okay, but do take note, all this angle in radian, they are all for theta. Question don't want us to find theta, they want us to find theta. So I have to divide by 2 throughout. So I have 1/3 pi, 2/3 pi, 4/3 pi, and 5/3 pi. Okay. Okay. Do digest a bit. Okay, and once you fully understand, you can proceed to watch part 2 video. Thank you.